Hello, Rod Young. Coming up in 7 News, Telstra under growing pressure after claims it misled Parliament and the courts. A dramatic end to a police chase on the Sunshine Coast. A parade of veterans on the eve of the Melbourne Cup. And the world premiere of Harry Potter's next adventure. Details ahead in 7 News tonight at 6.
On Today Tonight, we expose the ringleaders of the Gold Coast's notorious horse racing scams. Lying con men raking in almost $1 million a month, plus overrun by hundreds of rats. The worst ever case of a trashed home. Today Tonight.
Hello, Rod Young. Coming up in 7 News, urgent modifications to Queensland's fleet of fire trucks after the discovery of a potentially lethal fault. Police risked their lives to rescue a man from a burning car on the Sunshine Coast. Investigators reveal the cause of a light plane crash that killed 2 people at Archerfield, and Melbourne Cup fever builds with the Parade of Champions. Details just ahead in 7 News at 6. Tonight, a potentially deadly flaw in many of Queensland's frontline fire trucks.
Police risk their lives to rescue a man after a chase on the Sunshine Coast.
And foreigners, the firm favourites on the eve of the Melbourne Cup.
With Kay McGrath and Rod Young, this is 7 News.
Good evening.
Good evening and welcome to this special edition of 7 News. Tonight, it's my pleasure to welcome Rod Young to the team.
Thank you, Kay. I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Well, first tonight, a Brisbane man accused of kicking a New Year's Eve reveller to death has walked free from court. The victim's parents have lashed out at the legal system, which let their son's attacker go.
21-year-old Corey Gibson never uttered a word as he left Brisbane Supreme Court a free...
Paul Gregg, 7 News.
And some big racing news from here tonight. Gai Waterhouse has been charged by VRC stewards with giving false evidence over the scratching of her Star Platinum scissors before last Saturday's Victoria Derby. They're now investigating betting sheets and she'll face them again on Friday. As for the Cup, Seven's tipster Max Presnell is sticking with media puzzle. Personally, I think Vinnie Rowe can get the bacon tomorrow. Good luck. Seven's exclusive cover, of course, from 9:20. It's going to be a fantastic day. And Rod, by the way, great to have you on the team.
Thanks indeed, Pat. Pat Welch from Melbourne.
Well, still ahead tonight, startling World Health Organisation claims about Australia's hospital care.
Police nabbed the Posh Spice kidnap gang.
And a 200-car pile-up turns a freeway into a wrecking yard.
Victorians will go to the polls at the end of the month. Premier Steve Bracks today announced an early election for November the 30th. Opposition leader Robert Doyle has been in the job only 10 weeks but says he's prepared for the battle.
The World Health Report has made startling claims that Australian patients are 4 times more likely to suffer adverse medical outcomes than those in the United States. Medical groups have attacked the figures as flawed.
Delivering the World Health Organisation's biggest research project, Dr Alan Lopez said there was some surprising revelation.
In London, Darren Linton, 7 News.
And sports up next with Ben Davis.
Thanks, Rod. Welcome aboard and welcome to sport, everyone. After the break, the latest betting on the Cup favourites. Leighton Hewitt down but not out in Paris. And an Aussie test shock. Vice-captain Adam Gilchrist in hospital.
Victoria Carthew, 7 News.
Thanks, Vic. And for what it's worth, my tip distinctly secret for the Cup tomorrow.
Time will tell, Ben. We'll keep an eye on it. Thank you. Well, our share market gained around 1.5% today on expectations of a Wall Street surge. The ASX 200 closed 44 points stronger. The BHP Billiton led the resource sector higher. Shares in News Corp jumped more than 5%. Macquarie Bank also made ground. And the Aussie dollar has broken through the 56 US cents mark.
We'll check Brisbane's fuel prices after the break.
And Tony Johnston has the latest on our stormy weather.
Hello, Michelle Regan. On Today Tonight, the Gold Coast betting scam catching out thousands of Melbourne Cup punters. We expose the scandal that's reaping millions.
The week started on a positive note for motorists. Petrol prices were down by an average 1.5 cents a litre in Brisbane this afternoon. Best buying in the northern region was at the United in Albion. In the south, it was Shell in Shayla Park. The east's pick was Liberty in Cannon Hill, and the west's was Matilda in the Gap.
Well, weather time now, and plenty to talk about tonight, Tony.
Yes, Kay, it was an active afternoon, wasn't it? Well, as forecast, a line of storms moved through the southeast from the west late this afternoon. The radar shows that the storms have been strongest around Crow's Nest, Esk, Caboolture and Bribie Island, represented by the purple and red areas. There have been reports of hail, strong winds, heavy rain and lightning. Now, the Weather Bureau has just downgraded the severe thunderstorm warning, although they'll be around for the next couple of hours. Now, in the wake of the storm, the current temperature in Brisbane is still quite warm on 25 degrees. Despite the cloud, today's temps were still warm as well. It felt quite humid as well, didn't it? Archerfield, Toowoomba, Amberley and Logan City all reaching the 30s. Our Earthwatch satellite image shows the distinct band of storm cloud that developed along the trough line during the day. Now, today's chart shows the inland trough in a line extending from the Northern Territory right down through the state to the Darling Downs and into New South Wales. The trough has had the familiar warm northerlies ahead of it. The coastal section of the trough is moving north as we speak, bringing those showers and storms. A high will follow tomorrow with cooler southeasterly winds, so we can look forward to that. Around the nation, and all eyes on Melbourne tomorrow, they're expecting an early shower, clearing to a fine afternoon with a top of 20 degrees. Across the state, scattered showers and storms over northern and eastern parts ahead of a cooler southeasterly change, increased dust over the interior. A look at the coastal conditions now, and the winds will be 20 to 25 knots south-southeasterly tonight, easing to 15 to 20 knots southeast to easterly tomorrow. And there are the tides, and Brisbane Bar Cutting will see its first high of 2.4 metres at 9:39 in the morning, and the high will follow just after 4. For the southeast, showers and storms clearing tonight, mostly fine and cooler tomorrow with only isolated showers nearer the coast. The Sunshine Coast, Brisbane and the Bayside looking at tops of 26 degrees. And looking ahead, fine through until the weekend with the chance of a shower there on Saturday. Good luck tomorrow on the Cup. I'm no expert, but as the weatherman, can't go past rain gauge. Kay and Rod.
Thanks, Tony. That rain dance worked. Well, that's 7 News this Monday. Thanks for being with us.
And Rod, again, we're delighted to welcome you to the 7 News team, and we're all looking forward to working together.
It's really great to be here, Kay. Thanks.
And I hope you'll all join us again the same time tomorrow night. Thanks for your company and have a good night. Time now for Today Tonight with Michelle Regan.
High-risk gambling.
This man is the mastermind behind a Gold Coast betting scam catching out thousands of Melbourne Cup punters.
They're leading people astray and basically taking their money, and people are getting nothing in return.
The scam that's reaping millions of dollars. Our undercover investigation in a moment. Also tonight, Brisbane's worst tenant living in squalor with hundreds of rats. Now the landlord's left to clean up.
And I want to see like this. I am a little bit sick.
And Mission Impossible, do-it-yourself furniture disasters. Instructions you just can't follow.
You really need a degree to do these things, don't you?
But first, the Gold Coast betting scam that's catching out punters on the eve of the nation's biggest race. As you're about to see, investors are promised a sure thing and hefty returns. But the reality is they've done their money, as Chris Allen explains.
Mr. Volanti. Chris Allen from Today Tonight, wondering if I can ask you some questions about your Platinum Professional Services. Can you tell us anything about how your company operates?
I have to put a big question mark over that offer.
And we'll bring you that report at 6:30 tomorrow night. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good evening, Rod Young. The parents of a Brisbane man who died on New Year's Day last year after a brutal city brawl have lashed out at the legal system which let their son's attacker walk free. 21-year-old Corey Gibson was found not guilty of murder and the lesser charge of manslaughter. Child sex offenders face tough new penalties as part of an overhaul of laws approved by State Cabinet today. Anyone found guilty of indecently dealing with a child under 12 could be jailed for 20 years. And the Australian Democrats have warned the full sale of Telstra is all but dead, following damaging revelations against the communications giant. The opposition wants a royal commission into claims of a cover-up, but the government's ruling it out. Checking the weather for the state, scattered showers and storms over northern and eastern parts ahead of a cooler southeasterly change. For the southeast, showers and storms clearing tonight, mostly fine tomorrow.